Good morning, everybody. Come on, you can do better than that. It's Friday. Good morning, everybody. All right. So I'd like to welcome you all to our annual Quinn Community Breakfast. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Phil Carver. I'm the Director of Community Relations. But everyone here knows me, right? Because my boss is here, right? That was terrible. All right, so there we go. First order of business, I just would like to say congratulations and thank you to my dear friend Andrea Baez from the Dorchester YMCA. She's leaving and she's here today. She's accepted a new position in Lynn. Big round of applause for Andrea at the Dorchester Y. She's been doing great work. We told her it was a party for her going away. That's the only reason she came. So this is a very important day for me personally because it's Commissioner, it's here. Look at this guy. I want to wear a hat like that. Commissioner, can I wear your hat while I do this? Thank you. How do I look? If you were a criminal, today would be the day to commit crime in Boston because 90% of the police force is here right now. Right? So my wife is here too, Pamela, and she gave me my orders today. Don't talk with my hands. Shut my phone off. I'm a proud alum of UMass Boston. I'm a double beacon. I'm a former recipient of the Quinn Award. And the Quinn family is actually dear friends of my family going way back. Bob Quinn, the general, was a wonderful man, and Bob and my Uncle George were the best of friends, and they co-wrote the legislation that created UMass Boston. So being a beacon, yes. So this brings everything together for me, community, UMass, everything that I hold dear. So I'd like to thank you. The Quinn Community Breakfast celebrates individuals who consistently go above and beyond on behalf of our community. It celebrates UMass Boston's urban mission, which you'll hear a lot about when you do anything with UMass Boston. We talk about our urban mission, and it's coincidentally the same urban mission that has guided the university since its founding. I know I say this a lot. I think every year I use the exact same analogy that some folks make fun of me about. But our logo here at UMass Boston is a beacon. And, you know, I've got some friends who went to Lowell, and they're the Riverhawks and the Minutemen. And, you know, and we kind of give each other some ribbon, and they always say, well, what is a beacon? So I wrote this down because I think it's important to know. A beacon is, by definition, a source of light or inspiration, someone or something that guides and gives us hope. So UMass Boston is a beacon for public higher education in this city, right? So you think about what is a lighthouse? What does it mean when you're on the ocean? What does a lighthouse represent to sailors? Well, that's what UMass Boston represents to kids in this city, kids in Somerville, kids in cities all over. See, I'm a Dorchester kid. I grew up, I could hit my house with a rock from here, and I have a couple of times. So I was the youngest of 5 boys. My mother was a secretary. My dad died when I was 16. So there wasn't any like grand college tour for me. There wasn't a tour of New England. It was pretty much try and get through high school the best that you can, and you'll go to UMass Boston. Now it wasn't because I was settling. It was because UMass Boston was that spot for city kids. You know, my mom did her best. And she tried, but like I said, the only college for me was UMass Boston, because I was always told from my Uncle George and my mom that UMass Boston was made for kids like me, kids with potential but a limited budget. So UMass Boston was then and is now a beacon for city kids, not just Boston. We're talking Brockton and Somerville and everywhere in between, and other cities from outside of the state even. It's a beacon promising a quality education that is affordable and attainable. It's not an accident that every year UMass Boston honors civic leaders who embrace collaboration and civic engagement. The university exists to challenge and inspire. It teaches our students, both young and old alike, how to act collectively, identify and rethink boundaries, build purposeful relationships, and hopefully when you leave us, you will have gained the knowledge and the skill to assume the mantle and responsibilities of civic leadership and participation in the city. With this in mind, I'm honored to introduce you to our new chancellor. So for years I said this university needs a sociologist at its helm. I did. Steffi Hotwell, who's no longer here, but Steffi is somebody that can attest to this, because the unique relationship that this city could have, this university could have in this city, it needed a sociologist to understand the dynamic and our role and where we could be in this city. So Dr. Newman is a world-class academic with a passion for faculty research and student success. She's an accomplished administrator who not only believes in our urban mission to her core, but she has emboldened it since she first stepped foot on this campus. Trust me when I say this, this is a match made in heaven, folks. It really is. This is the person we need to have lead us into the future. We have this beautiful campus. We've got phenomenal students and faculty. And now, again, we have a great leader in place. So with that in mind, I'd like to welcome and introduce Chancellor Katherine Newman.
Taking that hat.
There's a new sheriff in town.
There is a new sheriff in town. Phil, thank you for that fantastic, actually this is a wonderful hat, but we're gonna put it on its special hat place here, right there. Thank you, Phil, so much for your kind introduction and for mentioning my home discipline. I don't think that's ever happened. You know what, I need a box to stand on here. You probably can't see me because I am so short. Have we got a box? No. You think if I could stand on that chair? Never mind. All right, I'll just be on my toes. Anyway, thank you so much for coming this morning, everyone. It's such a joy to see members of our community, the people we depend on, the people who make up our police force, the small business leaders, the family members, people who've contributed so much to the community all around us. We are here, as you know, to celebrate a long-standing and important tradition here at UMass Boston, where we celebrate and recognize and honor the people who have given selflessly of themselves. Oh, fantastic, my box. Great, thank you so much. Is that better? Yes! Thank you. In particular, it is my privilege to be able to present two very important awards that commend community leaders who embody everything that we hold dear here at UMass Boston. Selfless service, inclusion, access, and shared opportunities that empower our students, our faculty, our staff, and the communities around us. In a few minutes, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the honorees, but I do want to mention that these awards are presented in honor of a very dear friend of UMass Boston, Robert H. Quinn. We are so pleased to have members of the Quinn family here with us today, as we recognize two people who really exemplify Mr. Quinn's legacy. So please join me in extending a warm welcome to Bob's beloved wife, Claudina. Please stand. Claudina, please. And Claudina's children, their spouses and grandchildren. The whole family, please stand. Thank you. I also want to welcome today one of my new friends and a real inspiration in the community, Suffolk City Sheriff Steve Tompkins. Steve? I met Steve at an important sort of summit of philanthropists and civic leaders and learned a lot about the incredible programs he is developing for incarcerated young people, really making a difference to help them find a different trajectory in life. We need more people like you. Senator Collins, are you here this morning? I know we were hoping he would be here. Representatives Dan Hunt, Russell Holmes, David Beal, Liz Miranda, and Daniel Cullinane, who I know is here because I saw him. Dan, thank you. You know, as a newcomer here in Boston, it is really important for me to get a chance to meet the most dynamic and important city leaders And I was really blessed with an opportunity to meet Boston City Council President Andrea Campbell some time ago, I think really when I first came. And please stand, would you, Andrea? I just want to mention a couple of things that Andrea and I have been working on together, because this is more than a nominal partnership. This is actually turning into something quite important, I hope, for her and certainly for the university. So recognizing that Council Campbell needed research support for answering many of the questions she has in order to formulate sound policy for the city, we created something called the District 4 Lab, which is a collaboration of the council, the city council, and the McCormick School, where our students who are advanced students in the master's programs are doing research that's completely committed to and directed by Councilwoman Campbell. So this is an opportunity for her to learn more about who lives in her district demographically, what their economic patterns are, things like hospital utilization, just all the critical information that she needs. The second thing we're working on is more fun. In some ways, we're talking about developing some arts festivals and music festivals out here on Columbia Point, and in collaboration with friends and neighbors in Mattapan and Dorchester, and we are hoping to attract more attention for the fantastic artists and musicians that we have in this region, and that is a project that we are working on together, and with the mayor's office as well. So welcome, Andrea. Boston City Councilor Anissa Asabi-George, is she here this morning? I don't think I've seen her, but we welcome her. And Commissioner Willie Gross. Willie? Glad to have you here this morning. Of course, also joining us here are all of these fantastic students, alumni, university supporters, our allies, friends, neighbors, and public servants of all stripe, because that's what we're really here to recognize. You know, UMass Boston is a real microcosm of everything that matters here in Dorchester, the city of Boston, dozens of communities around greater Boston who understand that a healthy public research university is a real treasure. It's an opportunity to catalyze relationships, to develop economic opportunities, and to give the next generation a real boost in the direction of upward mobility. And I'm very proud to report that the university is really thriving. So, for example, our freshman class, way up, people. We were up 23% from the previous year. And as we look to next fall, we're up 15% on top of that. So UMass Boston is really starting to make a huge mark and become a destination of choice, which is partly a reflection of the extraordinary faculty and opportunities that we have here, and also a reflection of this thriving city that we are part of. Students come here because they're seeking a pathway into the industries that make Boston famous. So one of the things I'm doing is trying to bring industry back. We are organizing clusters of business leaders to come here to campus, to get to know our students, to open up internship programs, to help us learn how their industries are changing. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to be hosting business leaders from the Big Four accounting firms. We're hosting leaders in communications, in finance, in all kinds of different areas. We're going to go on to biotech, and as we draw those business leaders here, the purpose is to help them get to know our students and open up the doors that need to be opened so our students can really benefit. And they're going to see students who are extraordinary because they've been attracted by this fantastic campus. Among the things they're attracted to is the opening of our very first dorm, our very first residence hall, housing over 1,000 students. It's stunningly beautiful. When you get to the 12th floor of that building and you look over that harbor, all I can think of is, I never got to live like this. Can I move in? Can I move my office there? They haven't invited me so far. But anyway, a lot of the construction work that was made the campus difficult to navigate is starting to end now, and we have this fantastic, beautifully landscaped waterfront around us, which is why we are bringing graduation ceremonies back to our campus for the first time in years this coming spring. And we are, isn't that great? And we are so pleased that our own Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley is going to be the graduation speaker. Isn't that fantastic? I met with her last night and told her our students were so excited they were just beside themselves. I'm sure you've read a lot about Bayside. We have now identified a fantastic developer, Accordia Partners, to bring new life and energy to Columbia Point. The planning will begin soon, and all of our neighbors are invited to participate in expressing their interests in what should be done out there at Bayside. So, other things to boast about. There's just tremendous vibrancy and activity on campus with students from all corners. We are 61% first-generation college students. 90 languages are spoken on this campus. 50% of our students are Pell eligible, which means we have a very large and highly committed, energetic, and ambitious group of low-income students who see this university as their pathway into the middle class, and that is what we are here to help them do. But nobody does that alone. Thank you, we appreciate that. No one does that alone. We do that with role models and distinguished leaders right in front of us to lead the way. And we are going to give out 2 awards this morning that celebrate exactly those values. As I said, in honor of Robert Quinn, who was the Speaker of the House, an Attorney General, and the Chair of the UMass Board of Trustees. Sadly, we lost Bob in 2014, but he is forever in our hearts here, and we're very blessed again to have the whole family here with us. So, please join me in welcoming Claudina Quinn, who's going to help me give out the first award. Claudina? And Thelma, could I ask you to come up here too? Thelma, please come and stand here while I extol your many virtues. Today we are here to celebrate an extraordinary, come right out here where everyone can see you, an extraordinary person, Thelma Burns, lifelong resident of Dorchester, who, like Bob Quinn, has committed her life to serving others. Thelma started her very long and distinguished career as a nurse. She was moved to action by inequities that existed in the public school system and decided to return to school to obtain her undergraduate and then her master's degree in education. At the same time, Thelma was part of a team of people who started one of the very first after-school programs in the city of Boston, known as the Storefront Learning Center. Later, she went on to direct the Metco program in Cohasset and Belmont, and she served in this role for 28 years, helping to promote diversity and expand educational opportunities for hundreds of students. Thelma has the spirit to push things forward straight from her heart. She's motivated by a passion for helping other people and for making things better in the community. After retiring, for the first time, because I know now from talking to her she's really bad at retiring, Thelma expanded her advocacy to include working in the Boston senior community. She has served on the advisory committee for Central Boston Elderly Services. She continues to volunteer for the Mayor's Senior Advisory Council, where she was the past chair, and she is also the former president and current member of the Seniors on the Move program offered by the Roxbury YMCA. Thelma has also devoted her services, get this, I don't know where you find the time to do all of this, Thelma, but for 35 years to the Board of Directors for Action for Boston Community Development, ABCD. And in May of 2016, ABCD honored Thelma at the grand opening of a building in Boston's historic Grove Hall district, ABCD's Thelma D. Burns Building. Isn't that amazing? Now, to do all of this while also being a 2-time cancer survivor is amazing. I mean, this takes a lot out of you, and to have so much energy and passion left over for others, that is incredible. But Thelma tells us that actually her diagnosis gave her a sense of perspective on life. She supports research efforts and volunteers at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. We have a colleague from Dana-Farber, please, here this morning. And she says she's still fighting, and you can see that that's exactly the case. Her work as an educator, as an activist, as an advocate, and a volunteer, it's truly remarkable. She has a big heart and an even stronger commitment to the city of Boston and the people within. So please join me in congratulating our 2019 Robert H. Quinn Award winner, Thelma Burns. Thelma, congratulations. Very good. You have to do this picture too.
stand up here. I Well, good morning, everybody. It is so nice to see everybody here on this bright morning. I'd like to begin by recognizing and thanking Chancellor Newman, as well as the faculty and the staff of UMass Boston and my dear friend Phil Carver. And what a blessing it is to be recognized in the same program as Officer Cynthia Brewington, a stalwart civic leader in our community. Congratulations, Cynthia. It is with great pride that I accept the Robert H. Quinn Award for Outstanding Community Leadership. Mr. Quinn dedicated his life and service to the Commonwealth. He was a very passionate public servant who fought hard and was an advocate leader for others. His commitment to public higher education and public service was unwavering, and I like to believe the impact of my contributions to community service echoes that of Mr. Quinn. As I reflect on this award, I cannot help but consider the impact the family has had on me, beginning with my father, Arthur Callender, who first exposed me to the Boston political scene. To my older brothers, the late Reverend Dr. Eugene Callender and Leland Callender, who always protected me and provided a spiritual compass, and my daughters who experienced fuel in my inspiration to community service, and certainly my husband Edward, who's always been there and supported me through thick and thin. I would like to thank them all for their unending love and support. The time and energy I have given to the community is a shared effort. As anyone that is active in the community service can tell you, we don't do this for recognition. We serve because we have a deep love for our community and the people, and most of all, the children and the seniors. It is truly takes a village, and over the years, I have the distinct pleasure of working with a number of committed and talented individuals. As some of you know, I am a woman of faith, and as I believe, that is my responsibility to serve others, and in doing so, serving God. In closing, I would like to share the words of an old spiritual that sums up my feelings about service. The song says, "His yoke is easy, his burden is light. I found it so, I found it so. His service is my sweetest delight. His blessings ever flow." Thank you.
Thank you so much, Thelma. That was really inspirational. Now it is time for me to present the Chancellor's Award for Longstanding Community Commitment and Service, which was designed to celebrate those who have distinguished themselves in their service for all members of our community. And I'd like to ask Boston City Council President Andrea Campbell to the stage to help me with our next award winner. How about a hand for Andrea? Cynthia Brewington has dedicated her life to law enforcement and made an overwhelming difference in the lives of so many of our city's youth. Cynthia has served as a Boston police officer in District B3 in Mattapan since 1989, working for the past 10 years as a community service officer. And before I go any further, could I ask all members of the Boston Police Force and Campus Police Force to stand, please, so I can recognize you as well. We are so proud to host all of you, and I know it means a great deal to Cynthia that you're here this morning. Through her activism and participation, Cynthia has improved the quality of life for countless residents in her district of Mattapan and throughout Boston. The list of her accomplishments is very long, and we'd be here all morning if I went through all of them, so I'm just going to mention some of the highlights. She runs a teen police academy every summer, introducing our young people to the law enforcement world. She leads the Youth and Police Dialogues program so that relationships are built on and community policing is realized. And how many other cities in the United States could use this kind of energy for exactly that purpose? And wouldn't we be a better world if there was more of it? Great. She organizes the annual B3 holiday party for children, which draws up to 1,500 families in need, providing them with entertainment, fun, and gifts. She organizes the, quote, Meet Our Captain meetings so residents can meet the officers that protect them. She leads workshops for women on topics like domestic violence and dating, and the list goes on and on and on. Cynthia also serves as an adjutant for the American Legion and a junior vice commander for the American Legion Auxiliary. She's president of the Bedford Metco Parent Advisory Board. She serves on the Interracial Parent Advisory Committee for the Bedford Public Schools and on the Mattapan Community Center's Advisory Board. And she volunteers for the American Legion Auxiliary Girls State and works throughout the year on projects for fellow veterans and their families. What an extraordinary list of accomplishments is this. It's amazing. Cynthia, please come on up here and let me congratulate Cynthia Brewington, our 2019 recipient of the Chancellor's Award for Longstanding Community Commitment and Service.
Everybody asked if I was going to get on the box. And I'm on the box. And I have on heels. I tell you, it was so cute for you to ask for the box because many years attending this breakfast with Chancellor Motley here, he didn't even need the stage and he would still rise to the occasion. First, I want to thank all of you for attending this breakfast this morning. For many years now, the B3 Community Service Office has attended this breakfast, and back in 2015, we all sat in the audience with tears coming down our eyes while Miss Annie Wilcox from the B3 Community Service Office received this award. So to be able to follow in Annie's footsteps a few years later, my heart is pounding like, Miss Annie, I did it. I did it, Miss Annie. But I just want to thank my family. Can I have all of my family please rise? I have my mom, Rosetta, my dad, Donald, my brother, Harold, my sisters, Phyllis and Darlene, my aunt, who I'm named after, Cynthia, my niece, Shelley. I don't know why my cousin Maria is not standing over there in the back. Maybe because she didn't sit up with the family, but my cousin Maria is in the back. My auntie Mary, my aunt Andrea, who I get all my fashion from. And last but not least, my daughter, Zaria. You know, with all of the community work that I do, the one question I've always asked myself is, have I been there enough for my daughter? Have I taken away from her to do all the things that I do in the community? When she was younger, she would give me the guilt trip that I'm doing all these things for everybody else and not her. But she soon learned that I knew it was a guilt trip, and she just needed to keep it moving. She could come to work with me if she wanted to. She used to in the beginning when we were doing fun things, but she grew up, and now she doesn't want to be bothered with me or work, so, you know. But I am proud of my daughter. She is a freshman at Bridgewater State University. And guess what she's majoring in? Criminal justice. I don't know where she got that from, but Can I ask all of my coworkers to again please stand? All of my coworkers, all of Boston's finest. Thank you. You know, it's easy for me to stand here and accept this award, but I guarantee you I could not do all that I do without all of the people that I work with every day. This is a team effort for us. None of us go out and do any of this work on our own. And at all times, we have each other's backs. I did not prepare a speech. Pele and I actually sat in the office a couple of weeks ago talking about what I was going to say and should I write a speech? Should I go online? Should I hire somebody? And I said, I'm just going to do what Jose taught me and just fluff it. Thank you, Jose. You taught me well. But again, I just thank you all for coming out, for enjoying this breakfast, and I look forward to being here next year, seeing all of you and whoever the recipients are for next year. And I just have to let you all know that Miss Thelma and I, this is not the first time we've been acknowledged together in the same space at the same time. We actually received an award together 2 years ago. So Miss Thelma, thank you for paving the way and showing me the way, and I will continue to follow in your footsteps. Thank you. And I just have to come back and thank Miss Andrea. Andrea is her name, not Andrea, Andrea. What you all don't know is when Miss Andrea was hitting the campaign trail, Jose and I used to give her rides in the cruiser. And she thought it was the coolest thing. She was like, oh my gosh, you guys will let me ride in the police car. Yes, we did. And I'm ecstatic that she was up here to present me with this award. Thank you. Don't fall off the box.
Well, now I know who to call when I need a ride. Thank you so much, Thelma and Cynthia, for everything you've done to make our community better. You know, this was not an easy decision. There were so many nominations this year. The committee had a very difficult time signaling out just 2 individuals to be recognized, but now I see they're a traveling pair of people who are recognized. But it should be even more important that you know that actually this was a tough decision, because there are, fortunately for all of us, many extraordinary people in our community who make a difference. And so even if you were one of the nominees who didn't receive an award today, I hope you know how much UMass Boston values the contributions that you make each and every day. And I'd like to take just a minute to recognize the previous recipients of these awards, as I know many of you are in the room today. Can we have the previous recipients stand, please, if any of you are here? Lou, where are you? There's Lou. Over here. Congratulations. Thank you. We are very proud of you, and we are humbled partners in everything that we do, because we know that our success rests on the strength of the community around us. And together we are going to make sure that Columbia Point continues its extraordinary rise to prosperity, to attracting all these amazing young students who are coming here to realize their dreams. And together we're going to realize a lot of dreams for all of Columbia Point. So, that in mind, thank you and enjoy the rest of your breakfast. Take care.